Hi everyone, it's Tracy here from Art Fibre Stitch. Last week we looked at this lovely white fabric with a print on it. I used some Inktense dye sticks to colour it, and then we stiffened some yellow and gold fabrics and we cut circles and attached them to the background. So this is where we're up to. We're just going to finish this one off. We were looking at these yarns, maybe couching some on, but I don't want to obscure too much of that pretty background. So maybe I'll use something finer. This green yarn with a nice sparkle in it, I think that would be quite nice. So let's start there. First I'll start off by collecting a few threads. This is a thicker one. And I'm wanting to couch that thread on and do a little bit more on this picture. So I'll get a palette of colour out. I have some shiny one, a shiny silky fabric, and I have thicker ones and thinner ones and stranded, all different threads that are in a similar colour range. So we've got some colours. We'll put them off to the side for now. Remove the surround and get back to the fabric picture. Now I am wanting to couch something on just a little bit. Last week we were looking at different yarns that we could have possibly used, but I thought it's obscuring too much of our background, and so I'm going to do something more delicate. And so I have this nice hairy yarn. I think a tiny bit of that could go in. This is the one we were looking at last week. It's two yarns joined together. So we've got the nice hairy yarn, and we got this one with the pom-poms on it. You know, that could be nice too. Plenty of different things that we could do here. We've come a long way from the plain white print on that sheer fabric. You know, it coloured up beautifully. So I'm quite happy to continue on and see where this leads me. So we'll start here and we'll couch some nice wiggly kind of wavy lines. That's going to be more suggestive, you know, like of stalks, and see the greenery that we already have in that pattern in the background. So I think that would be fine. I'm just going to use a gold colour stranded cotton and just 2 strands. I'll separate out from the 6 strands that it is. With a threaded needle and a knot in the end, I'm pulling it up from underneath. I'm just going to make sure I get that first little bit of that yarn anchored down here. Where I'm stitching is going to be under that square frame that we were looking at before, so that's fine. And I'll just do a little stitch there and make sure that that little tail there is caught. And now to couch. So what we really do is we put the needle under and bring it up a little bit further along the yarn and on one side. So, and then we do a little stitch over and down again on the other side of the yarn. And what happens is that we trap that yarn. And that's what we're doing. And we're directing it as we go with these small stitches. And we'll travel underneath a little bit further. And I'm just going to do a nice wobbly line, I think. Right. So that's it. I've couched on 3 nice wobbly lines and also that nice hairy yarn in the foreground. So I haven't done very much, but it's a start. There we go. So we have our couched lines in, and I'd kind of like to put some of this in now, just to continue that kind of, see how we've got these lovely, oh, what are they? Rushes or twigs or something. So I think I'll just continue that and just do a few more little lines. Just a running stitch this time. Right, let's have a look. So we've got our lines going up, or some, and our flowers at the moment are just blobs. I'm trying to think, what can I do? I've brought out this orangey kind of gold, and I've got all 6 strands on, and I'm wondering if I can just do a little bit of chain stitch, but detached chain. Because I've done these yellow spots, I had intended something, not sure what now, but something like the flowers in the distance disappearing off. I'm just going to do some little chain, see, and it creates, see how it creates a little circle, and I'll put that in there, and there we have one. I'll do another. And I'll have it facing in different directions, so you needle up from underneath, in nearly where you came out, tiny little stitch underneath, and I'm holding this thread out the way so that it will pull a little loop, and that will be trapped with that thread coming up. So then I can just do another little stitch in, and there we are. Now I'm thinking that helps with this. I might just bring that down into this. So I'll do that for a little while. Just higgledy-piggledy, but heading in a different direction, and I shall get more dense as it comes down, I think. And I like bringing that orange up into it. Yeah, when you make a background like this, you can develop all kinds of ideas as you go. That's my problem, really. Where to stop? And you see how these are slightly bigger than where we started? That's the plan. And I'm just going to continue across until I've used this thread. Well, that didn't hurt, but it kind of needs something more. So now if you're a fan of French knots, I'd love to do, you know, these lovely little flowers on these twigs, on this foliage. But I don't know that I want to spend that much time on this one today. I'd rather get it up to show you what I ended up doing. Just some ideas to get you on your way. Right, I'll end that off in a sec. But you see what I'm getting at? Yeah, I think that would be good. Make this a little bit more. Don't want too much. I don't want to be doing too much today. I have other things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just going to look. So many things I would like. What other cottons did I get out? I got out that shiny one. Be pretty too, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm just wanting to try a few different ideas, things we haven't tried before. So take some of this shiny one. I'm just going to take a single thread because really it's easier to listen to the kookaburras in the background. Always laughing about something. Probably me trying to thread a needle. But that's okay. Alright, here we go. That worked quite well. But I've decided to pop in some little running stitch circles. Now this shiny lemon, just a single thread, and you can hardly see it, but it is there. Now I'm going to get and do more so I can sort of join these up a wee bit, like it really does look like flowers then. And I'm going to make it with more deeper colors or brighter colors or thicker thread as we come down into it, and we'll see how that turns out. So I've still got some lemon on my thread. I'll just do a little bit more until I've finished, and then I'll choose something else. But just a little circle like this. Doesn't have to be too precise. There's so many things we could try. They can't all be on the one piece. I must work out exactly how I can narrow things down a wee bit. As I go, I'm just trying to also hold down some of the edges of these ones that we've only, the stiffened fabric we did last time, that we only just held with a single stitch in the center. You see how I'm going out and around it now so that it really is held down. Not always, but you know, it doesn't hurt to have them overlapping. Well, I'm hoping. Sometimes it's hard to visualize what you're doing, whether it's going to work, and you just try something else. It's simple as that. That's why they call this slow stitching. It's just hand stitching, but there's no pattern and you can just go with the flow. Right. Well, I don't know if I'm finished yet, but it's probably enough for now. I'll get this video up to show you. It's probably not complete, but I do like where it's going. You know, we haven't obscured those nice fronds up the top there in our background fabric. They're sort of coming together. But yeah, the circles, I think the circles could work well. I think it probably needs a little bit more, but you know, it's giving you the idea. That's the direction I'm heading. So what do you think? I think we'll get there in the end. That's it for this video though. I would like to say thank you for watching, and please do press like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll do something completely different in the next video, I think. But in the meantime, I do appreciate you watching. Thanks again.